Welcome to Strip Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we are here with you tonight for our Stripped Cover Lit Variety Hour number 2.
Because apparently it was just a hit. Why not make a second one? So we're going to talk a little bit about everything.
Because we bought cigars.
Yeah, we bought cigars. We need an excuse to smoke them. And by we, I mean you.
Yep.
This is the darkest, harshest cigar I've ever had to smoke.
I call it the Black Death.
This tastes like I assume Kurt Vonnegut's hair smelled. This is a Rocky Patel The Edge. And although it has a beautiful smoke to it, oh my God.
I got it from Hy-Vee.
Did you really?
Yeah. Earlier, Dalton coughed watching me smoke. So, that's how heavy this cigar is.
I hate you so much. Anyway, what are we going to talk about in this variety hour?
I don't know, baby, lay it on me.
You saw Star Wars.
I did see Star Wars.
That excites me. We have to talk about Star Wars.
You are more excited about me seeing Star Wars than I am.
I really am. So if you have not seen Star Wars yet, I assume, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, here's your spoiler alert now. We're going to talk about Star Wars.
I don't think I'm going to get into any spoilers. Will you?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Okay.
I had a lot of problems with Star Wars. Let me preface that by saying that I am not a Star Wars fan. I never have been. I didn't grow up a Star Wars fan. I grew up around Star Wars fans. Haven't been able to get into it for whatever reason. Not criticizing it. It's not my thing. I can enjoy. I can enjoy the ideas there. I can see the potential there. Watching the movies, I was not a big fan. Obviously, the prequels are not indicative of the entire Star Wars experience. But when you're looking at it, they're half of it.
Yeah.
So far, now we're growing out from that. But
well, before we get there any further, let's at least get a brief timeline of what we're actually going to talk about here, so I can attempt to stay relatively on track. Or else I'm just going to sit here and choke to death on this. Did you have anything else you want to speak of besides Star Wars?
We need to thank Perks of Books. Erica over there, thank you. We were trying to figure out how we were going to celebrate our 100th subscriber when we eventually got there.
You blew it up.
Yeah, you mentioned us in a video, and we have nearly doubled in 12-ish hours.
Yes.
That is unbridled power.
We will gush over you later. Very important.
You're already wheezing.
I don't know. It's a little harsher than I expected. Very important. This is going to be our first artist feature, a local Kansas City artist. We've been talking about wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
We're going to feature a band. A local band from, Zoila? Zoila. She suggested this, so we're excited about that. The band is the Electric Lungs. They're from Kansas City. At the end of our show, we're actually going to play a song from their debut album. We're going to play Anything for the Kiss from their album Simplified and Civilized. And I'm not sure if that was their debut, so let me take that back, but it was one of their first. In addition to that, we will have the link to all their information in our comments below, and a link to the Bandcamp website where you can purchase their full album. Definitely support them. They're great. Judge for yourself at the end of the album, or at the end of the show.
Really enjoyed their music.
Yeah.
And what a great name for a band, the Electric Lung, which uncoincidentally you're probably going to need one after this cigar.
I have a feeling I'm going to need an electric lung. So those are my high points that I want to hit. Let's talk Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. And why?
The Force Awakens.
Yes.
Not a big fan.
Well, I can hate you for something else. That's okay.
Some of the characters fall into love too quickly. Other of the characters fall into like too quickly. Other characters yet fall into bromance too quickly. Everything just seemed to ring hollow for me. There was no real emotional investment. And I understand that what you're trying to do comes with a lot of baggage there.
Yes.
You're trying to give fan service, you're trying to incorporate the originals, you're trying to bypass the prequels, and you're trying to set up a new trilogy. So you've got a lot of things you've got to do in a very short time period. Unfortunately, that semi-short time period felt like a really long time period because a lot of things happen, but nothing really gets done.
Okay. Overall, I feel the movie served its purpose. It was Disney, but I have nothing against Disney because Disney resurrected Marvel. It was very much so Episode 4. It very much paralleled Episode 4. But that was necessary to gain a new generation of viewers.
Right, here's the problem I have with that. If you haven't seen Creed, the continuation of the Rocky-ish saga, Creed had rhyming action with Rocky.
Yes?
This felt like a remake of, or a reimagining of, the first Episode 4. This did not feel like it rhymed with Episode 4. And really, even that term rhyming, I'm going back to an embarrassing quote from the behind the scenes on the prequels where George Lucas said, if we do this right, these will rhyme with one another,
yes.
right?
And I don't know. I enjoyed the film. I think it was a good film. It was enjoyable. From somebody who's a big Star Wars fan, I could sit down and say, okay, this is where we're going. From someone who had never seen Star Wars, I could see them say, would you please stop puffing like that? That is hurting me. From someone who's never seen Star Wars, I could see them coming in and saying, okay, this is where we're starting. It was good. It was.
Okay, well, name the highlight of the movie. What was your highlight of the movie?
Han Solo.
No, that's not a highlight, that's a character.
Han Solo.
What was the best part of the movie?
Han Solo.
Don't give me that, that's garbage.
Spoiler alert.
No, don't get into that. Don't get into that. None of that.
It was beautiful.
It was not.
It was beautiful.
Okay,
I will say this. No, I'm going to go to a disappointment. Disappointment. Kylo Ren. Good build-up. Took his mask off.
Looks so weaselly.
And it's just disappointing because...
Well, but...
maybe I just felt old for the first time in my life. But, yeah.
I think that his appearance serves a purpose, though. Because he does look weaselly.
He does.
He does look like he's 14 years old. That's why he puts the mask on, because he wants to truly intimidate.
And the best argument I've heard thus far is, although he does look 14, and he does look weaselly, and he does look weak, his control over the Force is one of the strongest we've seen.
Yeah.
The very beginning of the film, he stops a blaster with minimal effort.
Mid-shot.
Mid-shot, which we've never seen done. We've seen deflections with lightsabers, but nobody has been able to stop it. He carries a full scene before he releases that blaster. That is showing such prowess and expertise with the Force.
Along those lines, I thought it was very interesting that, and maybe I am seeing this wrong, maybe I was in a shoddy theater, but it looked like whenever he was on film and sort of really freaking out, he vibrated.
Okay.
Did you notice that?
I didn't. I wasn't paying that much attention to it, but maybe.
Also, as a voice actor, now I understand his voice was modified, was baned up, but his inflection was gorgeous, truly terrifying, right? And I think that they pulled something off. Well, no, I can't. I don't want to get into spoilers.
Bane or Kylo Ren? I mean, what voice do you like better?
I like the Kylo Ren voice better. Making fun of the Bane voice is just...
The Bane voice is fun to make fun of, Adrian.
These cigars.
These cigars are adorable. But actually, somebody in a comment in our video, and I do apologize, I don't remember who said this exactly, with such a flood of new subscribers that we've seen lately. Someone said that we reminded her of Gandalf.
Yeah.
Smoking cigars.
I'm taking that as a crack at the fact that we're the old men of BookTube.
The old men of the internet. But thank you. Never in my life have I been compared to Gandalf. And the sci-fi nerd in me, I bawled when I saw it. I'm like, oh, little hobbits. So we may be Gandalf now.
I think we're less Gandalf, more creepy old men.
Yeah, could be it. Maybe we should grow beards.
That's disappointing, actually.
No, I think that's completely
I
acceptable.
just got rid of my beard.
So, influx of subscribers. Let's give that shout out.
Go ahead.
No, please do. You've got this theatrical moment. Just,
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I already did at the beginning of the video. You get it now.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that shout out. We would love to reciprocate. We would love to push some new booktubers as well. We're new booktubers. Share the wealth. Build the community. That's what we've said from the beginning.
Right.
This is building a community of artists, of readers, of patrons of art.
Right.
And this is an important thing. And I'm absolutely flattered that you thought of us. And let's not gush anymore, but hey, we appreciate it.
If you are new to our channel, from that influx, welcome. This is what we do. Pretty much.
This is the variety hour where we basically sit back and just talk about nothing. This is the classic vlog,
Right.
if you will. Now, speaking of internets and vlogs, and see, I'm old because I say internets and vlogs. You had someone you wanted to mention I'm very unfamiliar with, so I'm going to let you take the reins.
Keeping within the YouTube community, Rich Piana is doing something extremely interesting right now. I don't remember his exact goals. He was 270 pounds, I believe, of bodybuilder, and he is trying to get through to, I believe, 330. Through an extensive steroid cycle and a lot of eating and working out, and to watch him do vlogs day by day of all the work that goes into him being Rich Piana is extremely impressive. And if you've FitTube, I don't know if that's what that's called, if this is BookTube or MuscleTube or I gotta smoke for a second.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm very proud of myself, actually. I'm going to dabble here that I started taking fish oil.
Okay.
I don't know
Very good for you.
I don't know what it does. I assume it's on the same level as snake oil, and it's some kind of magic potion.
Eucalyptus oil.
Eucalyptus oil. But you actually, having been in your home, have more vitamins than you do food, which makes me so happy.
I have to have something to offset the profane use of cigars.
So I say, Adrian, what should I take to make myself better? And you told me fish oil.
It's good for you.
It's good for me, so that is, I guess I will be, is it Rich Piana?
Rich Piana.
I will be Rich Piana by next week with my fish oil, so.
That might not happen.
This is Body by Taco Bell.
Yeah, Rich Piana is body by Taco Bell and Chipotle, and his big thing, he's actually an extremely interesting character if you haven't, if you're not familiar with him. He,
What, yes, I'm drinking from a McDonald's cup. This is a sweet tea which has more sugar than I'm supposed to consume in a week, but I was thirsty and needed something to wash down this cigar.
Dalton, I'm puffing on a cigar that's blacker than black, and I am able to make fun of your health choices.
Yes.
But Rich Piana originally gained my viewership through a lot of videos where he talked extensively about his steroid use. And I used to be big into lifting weights and things like that, and health and fitness and getting bigger, and it was never that serious to me. But I remember back 2003 when I was catching a ride to weightlifting in the summers before my freshman year, and having to walk 4 miles home because I didn't have a ride, which after leg day, if you've ever done a leg day, walking 4 miles uphill both ways, obviously, is excruciating, especially in 115-degree weather that it hits in August in Missouri.
I have to plug this in here, and please help me with the terminology if I go off kilter here. P90X.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that program? Mm-hmm. I had a friend of mine who had procured the videos, and he said, hey, why don't you do P90X with me? And I say, I'm a strapping young man. I may be a bit heavier, but let's do them. There is something called plyometrics.
Yeah.
That I did for an hour.
Plyometrics.
Plyometrics? Is that what it is? Plyometrics that I did for an hour. And then spent the next week walking like a toddler. I couldn't get out of bed the next day. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life.
Yeah, my brief life as a gamer was through the NCAA football games in Madden. And I remember a buddy and I got the stupid idea to max out on curls, but not with weight, with reps. So he would hand it to me, I'd do as many curls as possible. I'd hand it to him, he'd do as many curls as possible. Hand it back, I'd do as many curls as possible. I was playing video games like this for an entire week because I could not stretch my arms back out.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was awful.
I appreciate your brief stretch as a gamer. I've mentioned many times, because I believe the original part of the Variety Hour was to get to know us better. People keep asking about us. I'm a big sci-fi nerd and a big gaming nerd. I'm a Dungeons & Dragons player. I played Magic the Gathering. I spent the last 2 months before we started this booktube playing Fallout 4. This is what I do. Adrian does not own a TV.
No.
And I'm pretty sure if I tried to invite him to play Dungeons & Dragons, he'd just hit me. But I'm big into this. But on the other hand, I have gotten into sports.
Yeah?
Now, I've been a big soccer fan for a long while now.
Okay.
Big soccer fan. Sporting Kansas City, big fan.
Are you going on a sports rant?
I might be.
Can I preempt you for a gaming rant?
I need to build up that sports rant.
My previous roommate was a gamer, and this is how I knew I was an old man. Because he'd be playing his games in the living room, and he had a TV, and I'd come out, and he was playing Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing.
I believe it was that. I don't know. Where you run around and you just shoot people. And I was looking over, I'd sit there. Who is that? What gun are you using? How do you know that's the bad guy? How do you know what to do here? Where are you going? And I just, all these questions. And he, shut up, Adrian. Leave me alone, Adrian. And I realized there might be something more wrong with my sight than just a pair of glasses suggests. Because I'd be looking at the screen, and he'd be repeatedly shooting at something. And what are you shooting at? What is going on there? All of a sudden, 100 points, kill, would pop up on the screen. 100 points, kill, would pop up. I could not see things on the screen. Everything looks the same to me.
I think it's that inherent old man vision.
Yeah.
Speaking of glasses, I reached a new low in my life.
Well,
I'm
hipster glasses?
Shut up. Yes, yes. I got to get new glasses this year. I have vision insurance. At the beginning of the year, I get new glasses. That's what I do. Instead of going and looking and saying what glasses would look good on my face, taking the significant other and having her help me pick a pair of glasses, I actually Googled Seth Rogen. I was like, well, what's he wearing? I mean, it's like a mirror at this point. So I'm just going to go with that.
I have not, these glasses are from 2007.
That's why your vision's so bad.
Who said that?
You're supposed to get those renewed like every 2 years minimum.
I don't have insurance, Dalton.
You need to see.
Well, maybe. I mean, I can read. That's all I need. I got 6 inches in front of my face. I still got that. Okay, anything out here, can't really do.
I've had 2 goals, and I've never been able to procure these because, yes, I see glasses as an accessory, and I like to dress the part. I would like a pair of Bruce Valanche glasses. If you don't know who Bruce Valanche is, Google.
No.
The red pair. And I almost bought a pair of John Lennon. You know the perfect little circles that sit on the bridge of your nose?
I want circular glasses. That's
yes.
the Freud glasses.
I tried to get them, and a significant other said, you look like a fat 10-year-old. Take them off.
That's why I'm worried that I will look like Harry Potter on steroids.
That is actually the most accurate thing I've ever heard of.
That's what worries me about getting these circular glasses.
So, my sports rant.
Your sports rant.
I like soccer, big fan. I've played fantasy football now for a few years, so I'm starting to get more knowledgeable about football. And I hit a big disappointment the other day because somebody was like, "Oh man, are you going to watch the AFC game?" And I'm like, "What is that? What league is that? Is that hockey or?" And I had to think about it, and the disappointment in this man's face, just poignant. But if I'm correct, the Broncos and the Panthers
in the Super Bowl.
in the Super Bowl,
Right.
because that's AFC and NFC come together for a Super Bowl.
Right.
And this is a good thing, and I'm supposed to watch it and root for a team that I don't care about.
In a sport that you don't care about.
In a sport that I don't care about. So I'm going to root for the Broncos.
For Peyton Manning?
Yes, for Peyton Manning.
I like Cam Newton. I like his attitude. I like someone that has fun playing sports.
Now see here, this is my fantasy football mindset at work. I'm like, Cam Newton, he's a quarterback. I think he plays for the Panthers. That must be because it's relevant. So if he doesn't, please let me know. But yes, okay, Cam Newton.
If we're going on sports rants, let me take a minute to air this out because I am from Kansas City. I am a lifelong Kansas Citian, except for the few years I spent in St. Joe, which is just up the street. And the year and a half I lived in St. Louis-ish. I lived in St. Charles, which people from St. Charles say that St. Charles is St. Louis. People from St. Louis say St. Charles is not St. Louis.
Okay.
I am now a Royals fan.
I don't like baseball.
See, I didn't either. And here's the thing that look, a big part of sports for me is understanding the strategy that goes into it. Having grown up being born in 1985, I never knew the Royals as good. I basically only knew the Royals as garbage. So the reason I am now able to be a Royals fan is the fact that I understand baseball a little bit more, because when I listen to the games on the radio, obviously I don't have a television, they explain the strategy more. When the team is garbage, they don't do that. You can't understand it. You can't get into the sport. You can't get into the nuance, the strategy, the little things that happen on a roster during the season, in the games during the season, for the long haul during the season, completely different than football, which is the only sport that I grew up with. And I don't think it's fair to call Kansas Cityans who are now baseball fans bandwagoners, because for me, that was a big part, was I just didn't understand it. You listen to it on the radio, and they're talking about George Brett, despite the fact that it's 2012. I tried to get into baseball back in 2008 when I kept hearing about the Royals farm system. The Royals farm system. I was like, all right, I like prospects. I enjoy the NFL draft. Let's try and get into this. And I tune into the radio. I tune into the games, and they're talking about the 1980s. Complete disconnect.
So Boy George played for the Royals in the 80s. I lost track a long time ago.
George Brett was a man.
George Brett was a man?
Not a boy.
Oh, now I'm a Boy George fan. Don't get me started on that. I actually took a long time to sit at home and be very upset when David Bowie passed. So,
yeah.
Boy George, David Bowie, that's music.
Queen, Peter Gabriel. I actually saw Peter Gabriel in concert.
Really?
Yeah, he came to Starlight in Kansas City. I was the only person there that was not high.
Yeah.
I was the only person I was one of two people there. I went with my older brother. That were under 40. Okay, so it was for me, it was surreal to see someone in person that I never figured I would. Right?
My first concert, I was 10 years old, roughly. My parents took me to see Willie Nelson. The smoke in that auditorium was thicker than this room right now. And all I remember is being like, okay, I know who Willie Nelson is. And then this old woman wanders up to the front of the stage and takes her shirt off. She's like, woo! I'm like, oh my God. So I'm not sure if that is good parenting or bad parenting.
That is phenomenal parenting.
But I accepted it wholeheartedly.
Also, Willie Nelson is the same age he was then.
He's like Sean Connery. He doesn't age.
And he's always been 60, right?
Yeah. But speaking of music, and speaking of good music, and this is very important, the Electric Lungs. They are local Kansas City artists that we have discovered through our booktube, and they've agreed to let us play a track from their album. And like I said earlier, we're going to have in the comments below the link to their newest album. If you support us, that's great. Support these guys.
Yeah.
These are local artists. This is what we wanted to do, is to give back to the local artists of Kansas City specifically. These guys are out there grinding it out. They're doing the shows. They're putting in just as much work as we are.
More, probably.
Support these guys. Give their music a listen. If you can, give the album a purchase. Support these guys however you can. And let's hear it. Let's hear the Electric Lungs.
Here they are.